So I think you have an idea about the third lesson, right? Right. Okay. Hari. එහෙනම් පුතේ පටන් ගමුනේ. Right. Okay. So today we are starting the third lesson. Third lesson is business organizations. Right? Business organizations. In Sinhala we call ව්‍යාපාර සංවිධාන. Right? ව්‍යාපාර සංවිධාන කියලා අපි කියනවා. Right? හරි. එතකොට what is a business organization? මොකද්ද මේ ව්‍යාපාර සංවිධානයක් කියලා කියන්නේ? Right? Remember? Right? So give me some examples for business organizations. Give me a few examples for organizations for businesses. කියන්න බලන්න business වල දෙන example ටිකක් කියන්න. Tell me. What are the examples you know about a business? Retail shop. What else? Tell me. Tell me some examples you know. Pharmacy. Oh, hurry up. Grocery. Supermarket. Bakery. Bookshop.
Bookshops.
Yes, bookshops. What else? Hardware. Clothing shop. What else? Real estate companies. What else? Kamu nanti kan dulu. Okay, that's it, right? So these are the examples for business organizations, right? So in these examples, you can see for some businesses, there is only one in this business, only one person, only an individual in this business, in that business, in that business. And there are some businesses that have a group of individuals, no, a group of individuals. For some business, there is only one person who is doing the business, who is working in the business, and there are some businesses. There are a group 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 20, 50, like hundreds, thousands, like, right? Right. So I think you have an idea, right? So an individual or a group of individuals. I mean, an individual or a group of individuals are doing, what are they doing? So as a supermarket, what are they doing? They are working together. An individual or a group of individual, they are working together. They are working together. එකට එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරනවා නේ. For what? For what? For what? මොකටද යාළුවා එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්නේ? As a pharmacy, what are they doing? They are providing some goods and services, no? They are providing some medicines. As a retail shops also goods and services, foods, stationaries, likewise. As a clothing shop, they are providing clothes. As real estates, they are providing lands and buildings, apartments. As a grocery, same. As a bakery, they are providing bread, one like. As a bookshop, they are providing books and related stationaries, right? So what are they providing? They are producing or providing goods and services. For what? Why they provide goods and services? Why they provide? All goods and services provide current. To required fulfill, to required, to required fulfill, to required fulfill human needs and wants, right? නිකන් හිතලා බලන්න. Maybe just think about these examples. For some business, there is only one person, an individual. For some businesses, there are some groups of individuals are included. Are included. So they are, what are they doing? They are working together for what? To produce or provide. To produce or provide goods and services. Why they provide or produce goods and services? Why they provide or produce goods and services? For what? To fulfill. To require fulfill human needs and wants. So basically, we know that people, as a human, we have human needs and wants. So to fulfill human needs and wants, we need goods and services. Goods and services. In common, we can use products. We need goods and services, right? So they are the one who working together to produce and provide goods and services and to fulfill human needs and wants. විශ්වසලිය ඉගෙන කරන්නේ. සිංහලෙන් කිව්වොත් මිනිස් අවශ්‍යතා සහ උවමනා සඳහා අවශ්‍ය අවශ්‍යතා සහ උවමනා සපුරාලීම තෘප්තිමත් කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වන භාණ්ඩ හා සේවා සපයන නැත්නම් සැපයීමට මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? තනි පුද්ගලයෙකු හෝ පුද්ගලයන් කණ්ඩායමක් එකට එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන එකට අපි කියනවා business organization එකක් කියලා. We consider it as a business organization. An individual or a group of individuals working together to produce goods and services to require or fulfill human needs and wants. Understood all of you? The definition? තේරුණානේ? පුතලා අපි සාමාන්‍ය මේ definitions මම මෙහෙම උගන්වන්නේ. අපි කෑලි වලට කඩා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට ලේසි. දැන් now we don't need to remember this නේ. අපිට මේක මතක තියාගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ දැන්. අපි දන්න මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා නේ. As a pharmacy, what are they doing? They are providing, basically they are providing medicines, right? For what? To fulfill, they are providing medicine. For what? To fulfill human needs and wants. To fulfill human needs and wants, they are providing goods and services. How they do it? Sometimes maybe an individual, sometimes a group of individuals working together to do this. As a grocery, as a supermarket, same. They are providing or producing goods and services to fulfill human needs and wants. And if there is one, then individual, or a group, then a group working together. As a bakery also same. As a clothing shop also same. They are providing clothes like t-shirts, shirts, trousers, sarongs, like to fulfill human needs and wants. Need call clothes, wants call trousers, t-shirts, and for some businesses, some clothing shops, there is only one person, and for other, there are some groups. So that group or individual, they are working together to provide, to require, fulfill human needs and wants. තේරුණාද ළමයි? තේරුම කොහොමද ගන්න කියලා?
Yes, sir.
Right. මේක අපිට note එකක් දාගන්න. What is a business organization කියලා ලියාගන්න. Right. ඔය පාඩම් ගන්න දෙයක් නෑ හරි. දැක්කනේ? example එක මත තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. අය සිංහල ඕන කියන මිනිස් අවශ්‍යතා සහ උපනා සිංහලෙන්ගෙදි අනිත් පැත්තට එන්නේ. සිංහලෙන්ගෙදි පුතේ මේක අනිත් පැත්තටනේ. මෙහෙම පටන් ගන්න. ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් මෙහෙම පටන් ගන්න සිංහල වලින් මෙහෙම. මිනිස් අවශ්‍යතා සහ උමනා සපුරාලීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය භාණ්ඩ හා සේවා සැපයීමට එක් පුද්ගලයෙකු හෝ පුද්ගලයන් කණ්ඩායමක් එකතු වීම නැත්නම් ඒකරාශී වී කටයුතු කිරීමට අපි කියනවා ව්‍යාපාර සංවිධානයක නැත්නම් බිස්නස් ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක් කියලා. An individual or a group of individuals, an individual or a group of individuals working together to produce goods and services to required to fulfill human needs and wants, right? Required to fulfill human needs and wants. Required to fulfill. Required. Right. Right. Finish. Right. Okay. Then, so we know what is the definition of a business organization. Business organization එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා අපි තේරුම දැන් දන්න ඕනේ. Right. So now we are going to classify business organizations. We are going to classify business organizations. Right. ලියාගන්න මාතෘකාවක් classification of business organizations. Classification of business organizations, right? So we can classify business organizations according to three concepts, right? We can classify business organizations according to three concepts. The first one is according to the ownership. And the second one according to the objective. And the third one according to the scale, right? අපිට මේ ව්‍යාපාර සංවිධාන කොටස් තුනකට වෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් එකක් අයිති අනුව, දෙවෙනි එක අරමුණ අනුව, තුන්වෙනි එක පරිමාණය මත ප්‍රමාණය අනුව, right? We can classify business organizations. ලියාගන්න classification of business organizations කියලා ලියාගන්න. Classification of business organizations. Sorry. Right, ඉක්මන් කරන්න. Sorry. Right, so we can classify business organizations according to these three concepts. We can classify according to ownership, we can classify according to the objective, and we can classify according to the scale. Right, so first one, I told you that we can classify business organizations according to the ownership. Let's see how we can classify according to the ownership. Under the ownership, we can divide it into two, right? We can divide into two. First one, private sector. private sector. And the second one, public sector, or we can use as government. Right, we can classify business organizations according to ownership. First one, private sector, and the second one, public sector. So under the private sector, there are 5 business organizations, right? First one, sole proprietorship businesses. Second one, partnership businesses. Third one, incorporated companies. Fourth one, cooperative societies. Fifth one, other societies. So according to the ownership, we can divide it into 2. First one, private sector, and the second one, public sector. So under the private sector, we can classify as there are 5 organizations: sole proprietorship, partnership, incorporated companies, cooperative societies, and other associations or other societies, right? And under the public sector, there are 3 organizations: state departments, state corporations, and state companies. Right. ලියාගන්න මේ ටික පුතේ. ලියාගන්න. All right. So first of all, we are classifying these organizations, right? So then after the classification, we are discussing about all these organizations one by one, right? What is this? What is the business? Which kind of organization is this? What are the characteristics of these? What are the advantages of these kind of organizations? What are the disadvantages of these kind of organizations? Likewise, we are discussing, right? So before that, first of all, we have to classify all these organizations. Hari apa ini Bang karena right, Bala finish writing. Deliver the Message දාන්න ඉවරයි නං. Right? Right. Okay. Finish. Ne? Right. Then, so we have we classified according to the ownership. Right. Now we are we are going to classify these according to the objective. Right. According to the objective. Right. How we can classify according to objective. So tell me, what is the main objective of a business? What is the main objective of a business? Tell me. Amai?
To earn a profit.
Sorry?
To earn a profit.
Yes, to earn a profit. Very good. So we can classify business organizations according to the objective like this. There are two types of objectives. First one, profit oriented. Profit oriented. And the second one, not for profit oriented. Right. So we can classify business organizations according to objective. So under the objective, we can divide into two. Then yet again, we can divide into two. Profit oriented, private sector organizations, and profit oriented, public sector organizations. And not for profit also, we can divide into two like this. Private sector organizations as well as public sector organizations. Right. So we know about private sector organizations and public sector organizations now. So before we discuss now. So under that private sector organizations, first three organizations, sole proprietorship, partnership, and incorporated companies. These three are profit-oriented private sector organizations, and the rest of cooperative societies, and other societies. Cooperative societies and other societies are not-for-profit private sector organizations, right? So there is only one. So and we discussed about public sector organizations. There were only three organizations: state departments, state corporations, and state companies. So only one business organization mentioned in the profit-oriented public sector. That one is state companies. State companies. So always remember, so when you see as a company, so always companies, they are profit-oriented. In corporate companies also profit-oriented, state companies also profit-oriented. And there is only one organization which belongs to public sector that that have the objective of profit-oriented state companies, right? And the rest of both public sector organizations, state departments, and state corporations, both are not for profit oriented private or public sector organizations, right? Right. Okay, write this down. Note that dagan utala. Right. Understood, all of you? Magarana. Right? Tell me when you're finished, right? Hurry up. Right, finish, ne? Others finish. ළමයි අනිත් අයත් ඉවරද? Right. Okay. Then, so we discuss how we can classify according to the objective, right? So finally, we have to classify business organizations according to the scale, right? Right, according to the scale. According to the scale. So, according to the scale also we can divide into two. First one, small and medium scale businesses. Small and medium scale businesses. And the second one, large scale businesses, right? Large scale businesses, small and medium scale businesses, as well as large scale businesses, right? So when we classify according to the ownership and objective, we know, like as an example, we know sole proprietorship businesses, partnership businesses, incorporated companies, cooperative societies, and other societies goes for private sector organization. And state departments, state corporations, state companies goes for public sector organization. We can have an idea, right? But and for objective also we know partnerships, sole proprietorships, incorporated companies are private sector profit oriented, and state companies are public sector profit oriented, and cooperative societies and other societies are not for profit private sector, and state departments and state corporations public sector not for profit oriented killer, we know that, right? But according to the scale, we can't say like that. We can't say that the sole proprietorship goes for small and medium scale, or incorporated company goes for large scale, right? We can't say, right? The reason is this, right? So to know whether a business is a small and medium scale or a large scale, we have to consider some criteria, right? We have to consider some criteria before we select whether it is a small and medium scale or a large scale business, right? So these are the main criteria we consider. First one, amount of capital invested. Amount of capital invested, right? And the second one, number of employees. Number of employees. And the third one, energy consumption. And the fourth one, market share of the business. So we have to consider these four criteria, these four factors to select whether a business is a small and medium scale or a large scale business, right? So according to the census, and statistics department, ඒ කියන්නේ සිංහලෙන් කියනවා ජනසංඛ්‍යා හා සංඛ්‍යා ලේඛන දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව, right? Statistics census. So same census. Statistics and census and statistics department, they have mentioned that if there is less than 25 employees, then it is a small and medium scale business. Or if there are more than 25 employees, then it is a large scale business. So likewise, they have mentioned a specific number, a specific range for that, right? But for the other reasons, other criteria, they haven't mentioned any specific range to select to match whether a business is a small and medium scale or a large scale business, right? So they have given only one thing, that if we are below 25 employees, then it is a small and medium scale. If more than 25 employees, then it is a large scale business, right? This is an MCQ question of your exam, right? Right. ඊට පස්සේ first one you know නේ. But these things they haven't mentioned. ඒගොල්ලෝ අපිට හරියට කියලා නැහැ කොච්චරක්ද කියලා. එහෙනම් now I decided to explain you how we can identify. Let's take two things. First, I take for small and medium scale business as a retail shop nearby නේ. අපි ගෙවල් ගාව දින retail shop එක ගමුකෝනේ. මාමාගේ හරි නන්දාගේ හරි නේ, uncles or aunties shop නේ. And for large scale, I take supermarket, a supermarket like Keels or Cargill's gamuko. Balamu. First one, number of employees. A retail shop, it is less than 25. Okay, that one okay. Heel Super, it is more than 25 because they have like 100, 200 branches. So in that branches, they must need at least one member for one branch. More than 200-300, more than 25. It's okay, right? The second one, amount of capital invested. Amount of capital invested. Invest karana salli gana. So as a retail shop, they have invested like 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, like as a retail shop. But as a supermarket, they have invested like hundreds of millions, sometimes thousands of millions, hundreds of millions or thousands of millions. So they have invested, when we compare with a retail shop, they have invested a large amount than the retail shops. So amount of capital for a large scale business, amount of capital is very high. But as a retail shop, as a small and medium scale business, amount of capital is very low, right? And the next one, energy consumption. Energy consumption means, energy means the power, electricity we use and the fuel we use. So as a retail shop, their electricity bill might be 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, likewise, right? But as a supermarket, they have 5 lakhs, 1 million, 2 million, likewise, because they have more than 200-300 branches. So they have a millions of current bills, light bills. So it means they are using a large amount of energy units for that organizations. For here, they have only 5,000, 10,000 charge. So it means they are using a small units of energy for the business. And if we think about vehicles, fuels, so as a supermarket, they have 100 of vehicles, right? For that 100 of vehicles, they need thousands of gallons of fuel. But for retail shops, sometimes they have only a foot cycle. Sometimes they have only scooter. Sometimes they have only three-wheel. Sometimes lorry, likewise. Sometimes they don't have any vehicle. So they are using a less amount of fuel when we compare with a supermarket, right? So I think you understood all these three, right? The final thing, market share of the business. Market share means the number of customers, right? Number of customers, we can consider it as a percentage. We can take it as a percentage, right? Let's say in Sri Lanka, let's say 300-400 branches they have, Keels have, and Kargils also have 300-400 branches, right? So we have 22 million of population in Sri Lanka. So out of this 22 million, for retail shop, for our next door retail shop, our nearby retail shop, the customers. How many customers will come? Like 100, 200, maximum 1,000, or not 1,000 maximum, making 1,000, right? 1,000. But Keel Super and Cargills, out of this 22 million, they have they have through 300-400 branches. එහෙනම් මෙතන එකකට මෙහෙම නම් මේ වගේ තැන් 300 තියෙනවා කියන්නේ මේක වැඩි කරත් 400න් එතනත් එතන වෙනවා කීයක්ද? At least 400,000, likewise. Okay, so their customer base is very high. Their customer base is very high. Their customer base is very low. So market share means the customer base, when they take as a percentage, then we can consider as a market share, right? So in Sri Lankan market, 40% goes to Cargills. 40% goes to Cargills. 25% goes to 25% goes to Keels. And others, there are few supermarkets, it goes to other markets and for retail shops. So this kind of shop, මේ වගේ shop එක තියෙන්නේ 0.0001, likewise මේ වගේ percentage තමයි මේ වගේ shop එක තියෙන්නේ. So when we compare with these supermarkets, the market share, the number of employees of this retail shop is very low, very low. So their market share is very low. So that's what we call market share of the business. So small and medium scale businesses, their market share is very low. And for large scale businesses, their market share is very high. Understood, all of you? Utala?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Note this. Hurry up. Hurry up, buddies. Right. Hurry up. Mangkaranna. Right, finish. Right, right. So we can use these criteria to classify whether a business is a small and medium scale or a large scale business, right? Okay, then. Okay. Now we have finished classifying business organizations, right? So now we are going to learn about all these organizations one by one, right? We are going to learn about all these organizations one by one. Right? So these are the organizations we learn about, right? So we already know the organizations we discussed before. I will mention you it again, right? First one, sole proprietorship. And the second one, partnership. Third one, cooperative, incorporated companies. Sorry. Incorporated companies. Next one, cooperative societies. Then other societies. Right, then state departments, state corporations, then state companies. Right? State companies, these things. Right? Okay. So first one, sole proprietorship business. Liyaganna topic එක sole proprietorship business. Right? Sole proprietorship business means business owned by an individual. Business owned by an individual are known as sole proprietorship businesses, right? So, sole proprietorship business means there is only one person, only owner, one owner business, right? So, our nearby retail shop ne, අපි ගිහලා retail shop එකේ වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Sometimes there's uncle and auntie both there, but uncle is the owner, right? Uncle තමයි owner, auntie also there, right? She is also helping to uncle, right? Akka also there, but sometimes Aya is the owner. Sometimes Akka වෙන්න පුළුවන් owner, right? So somehow only one owner, right? If a business organization there is only one owner, we can consider it as a sole proprietorship business, right? So in these businesses, our pattern is first of all we are describing that kind of business. First one is description. Then the second one is characteristics of characteristics of these businesses. Then advantages of these businesses and disadvantages of these businesses. So now we describe what is a sole proprietorship business. Then we have to go for the characteristics of sole proprietorship, right? So before we go to that part, I'm going to teach you three common characteristics that affect for all these organizations. Three characteristics that affect for all these organizations, right? So it is very important, these three. So before we learn about the characteristics of sole proprietorship, let's learn about the common characteristics of all these organizations, right? We are gonna topic එකක් common characteristics of all these organizations. කියලා ලියන්න common characteristics Common characteristics of all these business organizations. Common characteristics of all these organizations. First one, legal personality. Right. Legal personality. Second one, continued existence. Third one, liability. Right. So these three are the main characteristics, but there are two options, right? So for some businesses, they have a legal personality. They have a legal personality. For some businesses, they haven't. They have not legal personality. Have continued existence, haven't, or don't have continued existence. And for some companies, their liability is limited. And for some businesses, the liability is unlimited. So, however, these three affect for all these organizations, right? As an example, for sole proprietorship business, they haven't a legal personality. They haven't continuous existence, and their liability is unlimited, right? As an incorporated company, they have a legal personality, they have continued existence, their liability is limited. So likewise, it depends on the organization. But however, these three characteristics directly affect for every organization, right? So I think you wrote the topic, the common characteristics affect for all the business organizations කියලුවනේ. එහෙනම් ඊට පස්සේ ලියා ගන්න මෙන්න මේක. මේ ටික නම් පෙන් එකෙන් දාගන්න වෙනම, right? දාගෙන මේ විදිහට දාගන්න. මම කරා. Right. Hurry up, tell me when you finish, right? Right. Gala finish. Right. Now, we are going to learn, first of all, we are going to learn about these three characteristics. Right? First one, legal personality. What is legal personality? In Sinhala, we call Neetimaya Pudgala Bhave, right? Neetimaya Pudgala Bhave. Legal personality means the ability to represent as a separate entity, as a separate unit in front of the law, in front of legal activities, right? Like this. Let's say, I told you before that sole proprietorship, for sole proprietorship businesses, they no legal personality. I have a sole proprietorship business called Hawaii Restaurant, right? Hawaii Restaurant, right? And I told you in corporate companies, they have a legal personality. Let's say that Mr. Kottu, right? Mr. Kottu is a incorporated company, right? Right? Oh, right? Hawaii. This is my business, owned by Tanuja. This one, Mr. Kottu, owned by Viraj, as I remember his name, right? Right. Okay. Somehow, legal personality ගත්තොත් legal personality ගත්තොත් අපිට මෙතන no legal personality මෙයාට yes මෙයාට තියෙන legal personality එහෙමනේ right හරි මෙතනින්ම ගමු හරිද so legal personality means ability to represent in front of legal situations as a separate entity, as a separate unit, right? So, again, නීති ඉදිරියේ පුද්ගලික වශයෙන් මේ ව්‍යාපාරයේ නීති ඉදිරියේ පුද්ගලික වශයෙන් පෙනී සිටීමේ තියෙන හැකියාව තමයි මේ අපි කියන්නේ legal personality එහෙම නැත්නම් නීතිමය පුද්ගලභාවය කියලා, right? So, I told you for Hawaii, it is a sole proprietorship business. For sole proprietorship businesses, they don't have a legal personality. ඒ කියන්නේ we have legal personality and right? So, again, Hawaii business appear වෙන්න බෑ, can't represent as a separate entity. So for that legal situations, Hawaii business organization, Hawaii restaurant has to the owner of Hawaii restaurant has to represent instead of the business එක වෙනුවට අයිතිකරුට පෙනී හිටින්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා, right? I am going to teach you with examples, right? First one, let's say මේ දෙකම තියෙන එක ලං කියලා හිතමුකෝ, right? Very close, right? So one party, එක පාටියක් කවුරු හරි කමන්නේ put trash in the road. මේ පාරට කුණු දානවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. දන්නේ නැහැ කවුද කියලා. මොකද කරේ? පාරට කුණු දානවා කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද කරේ? government එකෙන් ඇවිල්ලා එයාලට දැම්මා they filed a complaint against these companies, right? These organizations, not companies, these organizations, right? එතකොට අපි තුමු මෙයාට දැම්ම කේස් එකක් ෆයිල් කරා, මෙයාට කේස් එකක් ෆයිල් කරා, right? එතකොට for as government එකනේ එකෙන් කේස් එක ෆයිල් කරේ. So as government, they have to file a complaint against Hawaii, but for Hawaii, it doesn't have a legal personality. So Hawaii as Hawaii restaurant, it is unable to represent in front of the law. Then the government can't make a complaint against Hawaii restaurant. They have to make a complaint against the owner of the Hawaii restaurant. Why? Because for all the legal situations of this Hawaii restaurant, for all the legal activities, the owner has to represent the business, because this business doesn't have a separate, doesn't have a legal personality or have a separate entity. Can't represent as a separate entity in front of the law, right? But this Mr. Kottu, they have a legal personality, right? So then the government can directly make a complaint against the Mr. Kottu. So they don't need to make a complaint against the owner of Mr. Kottu. They can directly make a complaint against the business because Mr. Kottu have a legal personality. So then in the legal activities, they are considering Mr. Kottu as a separate entity, right? පැහැදිලිද? Understood? And the next one, කියන්නේ වෙන කෙනෙක්ට legal personality නැති business එකකට direct complain කරන්න බෑ. එහෙම legal personality නැති company එකට complain කරනවා නම් complain කරන්න වෙන්නේ එයාගේ owner ට තමයි. හැබැයි legal personality එකක් තියෙනවා නම් එයාගේ owner ට complain කරන්න ඕන නෑ. කෙලින්ම ඒ company එකට complain කරන්න පුළුවන්. company එක නම යටතේ අපිට file එකක් open කරන්න පුළුවන්. right? case එක entry එක දාන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන එහෙම බෑ owner ට තමයි entry එක දාන්න වෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට ඒකේ අනිත් පැත්ත. අපි හිතමු මෙහෙම දැම්ම government මෙහෙම trash දැම්ම කියලා government එකෙන් දැම්මා මේගොල්ලන්ට පොඩි කේස් එකක් right පොඩි කේස් එකක් දැම්මා. හැබැයි පස්සේ හොයාගෙන යන පස්සේ මේ දෙගොල්ලෝම නෙමෙයි කුණු දාලා තියෙන්නේ. right? මේ දෙගොල්ලෝම නෙමෙයි trash දාලා තින්නේ. ඒකින්ද මේගොල්ලෝ inconvenience වුණානේ අපහසුතාවයටපත් වුණා government එක කරපු වැඩේ. ඒක නිසා මෙයාලා decide කරා reply මෙයාලා decide කරා they decided to make a complaint against the government. අපි එහෙම හිතමුකෝනේ රාජ්‍ය විරුද්ධව මේගොල්ලෝ දාන්න තීරණය කරා කේස් එකක්. legal case එකක්. ඒතර මොකද වෙන්නේ? එතකොටත් මේ as Hawaii restaurant they doesn't have a legal personality, then they can't make a complaint under the name of Hawaii restaurant. එහෙනම් එතරම් කාටද complaint එක මේ පැත්තට දාන්න වෙන්නේ? Owner of the Hawaii restaurant has to make a complaint. මේකේ owner ට තමයි එහෙනම් complaint එක දාන්න වෙන්නේ because they doesn't have a legal personality. Right? But Mr. Kottu, they have a legal personality. Then the owner of Mr. Kottu doesn't need to make a complaint directly under the name of the business, under the name of Mr. Kottu. They can directly make a complaint against the government. Right? පැහැදිලිද? Understood? So any legal situations, they can't use their name in front of for any legal activities because it doesn't have a legal personality. But this one can because it has a legal personality, so it can do anything under the name of this business for any legal activities. Understood? Hurry up, Manikan. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. එකක්. හරි? ඊළඟට තව එකක්. I'll give you another example. Right? So, they decided, both these organizations decided to purchase some properties, no? So as a business they can purchase some properties, you know, like buildings, lands, vehicles, equipments, machines, ne? Like, so let's say that they decided to purchase a building, new building, right? So both decided. හරි? දෙන්නම decide කරා. හරි? එතකොට as Hawaii restaurant, they can't buy the properties under the name of Hawaii restaurant. So when they buy properties, they have to use the name of the owner for the property. So they can't obtain any property under the name of Hawaii restaurant because they doesn't have legal personality. But Mr. Kottu, they have a legal personality. So then they can purchase any property under the name of this organization because they have a legal personality, right? So remember, if a company doesn't have a legal personality, that company is unable to purchase any property under the name of the business. In that situation, the organization has to mention the name of the owner for the property, right? For the ownership, right? So, but if a company has a legal personality, that company or that organization can obtain properties under the name of the business, right? I hope you understood, right? Okay. Second one I told you. And now, third one. For these organizations, they are earning, they are selling their products and they are earning profits. So for that profits, our government are asking some taxes, right? Asking some taxes. We call it income taxes, mainly income taxes they are asking, right? For that income taxes, for that income taxes, this Hawaii restaurant can't pay taxes under the name of Hawaii restaurant. For that one also, they have to pay taxes under the name of the owner because they don't have a legal person. It means this company is not considered as a separate entity for legal situation, legal activity. So then for income taxes also, they can't pay taxes under the name of Hawaii restaurant. They have to use the name of the owner to pay income taxes. But for Mr. Kottu, they have a legal personality, so they can use their name to pay income taxes. So they can pay income taxes under the name of Mr. Kottu because they have a legal personality. Right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Last one. Last example, right? So as a business, they are making some agreements. They come with an agreement with another parties. Agreements. Let's say that both companies came an agreement with Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola that they only purchase from Coca-Cola company. They only purchase soft drinks from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola විතරේ ගන්න company විතරේ soft drinks ගන්න කියලා they signed an agreement, right? So when they sign an agreement, they can't prepare the agreement under the name of Hawaii restaurant because for that agreement also they have to mention the name of the owner for that agreement because this Hawaii restaurant is not recognized as a separate entity in legal activities because it doesn't have a legal recognition, right? But Mr. Kottu, it has a legal personality, so they can mention their name as Mr. Kottu in the name of the agreement, right? In the name of the agreement, they can mention the company's name, Mr. Kottu's name for the agreement. So it doesn't need to mention the name of the owner for that because it has a legal personality. Understood, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right. These are the examples that we can explain about legal personality. So having legal personality means their business is considered as a separate entity in legal activities. Not having legal personality means their business is not recognized as a separate entity in legal activity. So they can't appear in front of any legal activities, but here they can appear, they can represent as a separate entity, right? So I think legal personality, you got the points, right? So I mentioned you a few examples to identify this characteristic. So this legal personality affect for all these businesses. Some businesses, they have a legal personality, like incorporated companies. For some businesses, they don't have a legal personality, like sole proprietorship businesses, right? Okay. So the second one, continued existence. What is continued existence? In Sinhala, we call digukal පැවැත්ම, right? digukal. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියනවා කොහොමද කියන්නේ? continue නොනවත්වා පැවැත්ම, digukal පැවැත්ම, අඛණ්ඩ පැවැත්ම, right? අඛණ්ඩ පැවැත්ම. Again, nonamatwa continued existence. It means putala. So as a business, there are owners, no. So if something happened to the owner, then for some businesses collapse. Some other business collapse, bankrupt. For some businesses, it is not an effect for the business. They continue the business as usual. යාලා සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට business එක කරගෙන යනවා, right? ඒක තමයි මේ continued existence කියලා කියන්නේ, right? It means if something happened to the owner something happened to the owner means, or if die, if got any mental issue, or if paralyzed or some whatever, like මොනවා හරි වුණොත් mental issue එකක් වුණොත් මොනවා හරි, if something happened to the owner, then for some organizations they can't continue the business anymore, right? They can't continue the business anymore. So if they have continued existence, they can continue the business without any problem, right? So if they doesn't have continued existence, then they can't continue the business. They can't continue the business, right? If something happened to the owner, if the owner die or whatever, in any mental problems, in any physical problems, or something happened, if disappeared or something, something happened to the owner, if the owner unable to conduct the business, then some businesses might collapse, right? For some businesses, not collapsing, not affecting for the business, the other people, other partners or other owners continue the business as usual, as before, right? Understood? On example එකක් දෙන්නම්. මෙහෙම. ඔන්න මේක ලියාගන්න legal personality කියන එක ඔන්න මෙතන ලියාගන්න. නෑ ඒ වුණෙත් නෑ. ඔයාලා you have an idea නේ? I think you have an idea. If you need to know this. You need to know this. නෑ නේ. හරි. මොන issue එකක් නෑනේ. හරි. So I think you have an idea about continued existence, right? If something happened to the owner, then if that organization doesn't have continued existence, that business collapse. If they have continued existence, then the other owners continue the business as usual, right? That's what we call continued existence, right? Continued existence. So the final thing, liability. For some businesses, their liability is limited, and for some businesses, their liability is unlimited. එහෙම ගමුකෝ. මේ දෙකම ගත හැකි අපිට. හරි. අපි කියවනේ මේක sole proprietorship business එකක් කියලානේ. මේක sole proprietorship. මේක incorporated company එකක්. Right? So for sole proprietorship businesses, their liabilities are unlimited. Unlimited liability. So for incorporated companies, their liability is limited. Limited liability. හරි එහෙම ගමුකෝ. දෙකව කම්පෙයාර් කරලා වැඩේ කරන්න යන්න. right? කලින් වගේම තමයි. As usual, right? අපි ගමු. So liability means, what is liability? In Sinhala we call වගකීම. Not the responsibility we consider, right? අපි responsibility එකක් කියන වගකීම කියලානේ. වගකීම responsibility එක කියන මෙතන liability means, මෙතන වගකීම means අර අතන responsibility කියලා කියන්නේ අපි අර මේ කන්නේ අර as ethics වල විදියටනේ. අපේ නිකන් අර චාරිත්‍ර වාරිකද යුතුයකම් සහ මේ වගකීම් ඒ වගේ කේස් යන්නේ as a person නේ. මෙතන වගකීම් means ණය, right? මෙතන වගකීම් liabilities means debts ණය, right? Debts, right? ණය දැන් තමයි මේ කතා කරන්නේ liabilities කියලා, right? So let's say both these companies decided to obtain loans, right? So both obtained a loan 1 million. They obtained 1 million from the bank, and they also obtained 1 million from the bank, right? And they paid 300,000 paid at first, and they paid 100,000 at first, right? So, however, both these companies collapsed, bankrupt, right? They come bankrupt now. So finally, they had to pay 700,000. So they had to pay 900,000. But both companies are closed right now because of mismanagement or something, whatever, bankrupt the business, right? Both businesses, right? Bankrupted the both businesses, right? So then, so as a bank, they are not coming at the first time, no. So first 2-3 months they are checking, no. They are calling, they are sending some letters to the business. But if they are not responding, then they directly come to the business, right? නේ මුලින්ම loan එක දීලා මාසයක් දෙකක් තුනක් මේගොල්ලෝ ගෙවලා තියෙනවනේ මෙයා ලක්ෂ 3ක් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා මෙයා ලක්ෂයක් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා 10. ඊට පස්සේ එකපාරට මේ දෙන්න බැංක්‍රප්ට් වුණා බංකොලොත් වුණා ඊට පස්සේ මොකද උනේ මේගොල්ලන්ට වැඩේ ගෙවා ගන්න බැරි වුණා. මාසයක් දෙකක් තුනක් බැංකුව බලනවානේ. ගෙවනවද නැද්ද? කෝල් කරලා බලනවා, ලෙටර්ස් එවලා බලනවා, සර් ඇරියස් එකක් තියෙනවා, ඉන්ස්ටෝල්මන්ට් එක ගෙවන්න කිය එවනවා. ඒත් no responded දෙන්නම නැහැ. So finally, the bank officers decided to visit those businesses, right? Visit those businesses, right? So they came to the business premises, but they can't see any operations in the business, right? මේ දෙකේම යාලා visit කරන business දෙක දෙකේම operation වෙනවා කියලා පෙන්නන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ තේරුණා දෙකම bankrupt වෙලා කියලා. So finally they decided to visit the owners houses. අයිතිකාරයන්ගේ ගෙවල් වලට යන්න decide කරා. So then went to the owner's place and they සාමාන්‍යනේ යාමනේ ගිහිල්ලා නිකන් මුලින්ම bell කරනෝනේ, ring the bell. So ඊට පස්සේ owner is coming and they open the gate door, open the gate, then they talk and they invite them to have a cup of tea නේ කෝපියක් බොමු හරි එකක් බොමු හරි කියලා බැංක් ඔෆිසර්ලා එන්න ඔෆිසර්ස්ලා එන්න කියලා පාඩි වෙන්න කියලා නේ කතා බහ කරනවා, right? So they are discussing. So in this discussion they are considering the debt also නේ ණය ගැනත් කතා වෙනවා. So they are asking, first of all they are asking from Hawaii. So what happened to sir කියලා අහනෝනේ කියනවා. There were some issues of management, so we had to close the business. So now we are unable to pay our loans. Yeah, we are unable to pay our loans again because our business is closed. We don't have any one cent to pay you because total the company collapsed. නේ company ගියවන සතයක්වත් නැහැ company සම්පූර්ණයෙන් collapse වුණා කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට in this situation the bank officers say, but sir, your liability is unlimited. Your obligation or your liability is unlimited. කියන්නේ ඔයා අසීමිතව ණය ගෙවන්න බැඳිලි ඉන්නවා. So then you have to pay with your personal resources. ඔයාගේ personal පුද්ගලික සම්පත් වලින් ගෙවන්න. Even if you have cash in bank or cash in hand in personal, in person, if you have a business account or ගෙදර සල්ලි තියන් ඉන්නවනේ සමහරකට personal bank account වල සල්ලි තියෙන, if you cash in bank or somewhat wherever, you have to pay with that cash. Or if you don't have cash, then you have to sell one of your property, like if you have a house, if you have a vehicle, if you have a land, you have to sell that land and you have to settle our loan because your liability is unlimited, right? පැහැදිලිනේ? ඒ කියන්නේ business එකක් ණයක් අරගෙන මේ වගේ business එකක් unlimited liability තියෙන business එකක් ණයක් අරගෙන ගෙවා ගන්න බැරි වුණොත් owner has to pay the rest of debt, the rest of liability with his or her personal resources like personal cash or with person selling or personal vehicle or personal house or some whatever, right? But in the say, let's think about the second scenario. Same thing happened to Mr. Gottu, right? මෙයාටත් මේක වුණා collapsed. So finally, bank called to them, but no, not responding. Finally, they decided to visit the company. So when they visit the company, they saw that there is not a company, not a business. So they decided to visit the owner's place. So they went to the owner's place and like I said you before in Hawaii restaurant, it happened. They are discussing, right? So in this discussion also they are asking, so what happened to you, sir? You know, මම පොඩි පිස්සු වගේ නැටුව අරගයි මේකයිනේ එහෙම කියලා ඒක නිසා business එක bankrupt වුණා. එතකොටත් මොකද කියන්නේ? Bank officer saying, sir, somehow you pay, somehow you have to pay කියලා කියනවා, right? Somehow you have to pay. So but this guy know about the legal scenario and characteristics of this business. So at the moment he says, no, I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay because my business is an incorporated company. So for incorporated companies, their liability is limited. Their liability is limited. So I am not liable with paying using my personal resources like my personal cash or with selling my personal properties or with selling my personal vehicles. I am not able because I have my company, as my company, our liability is limited. So if you need to recover something, then you can recover from the company, right? Company's thing. If there is any balance in the company, then you can recover with it. Company මොන හරි ඉතුරුලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාට ඒක අරන් ගිහිල්ලා ඒකෙන් recover කරගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මම මගේ ගෙදර දේවල් විකුණලවත් මගේ personal account එකේ තියෙන සල්ලි වලින්වත් මම ඔයාට ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ because my liability is limited. Understood, all of you? Understood? කතා කරන්නකෝ.
Yes, sir.
Right. පැහැදිලිනේ? ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙනම් limited liability means they are liable for only for the business. Unlimited liability means they are liable for everything. They have, if something happened on the business, they have to pay debts using their personal resource, personal belongingness. But for limited liabilities, they don't have to pay with their personal resources because their liability is limited. Right? පැහැදිලිනේ? එමුණු මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙයාගේ ගියක් හරි මොකක් හරි උකලා මේ ලක්ෂයට ගෙවලා දානවා. මෙයා ඉතින් මේකට පොල්ල තියෙනවා. අවුලක් නැහැ. එයා liability is limited. එයාලට බෑ නඩු දාන්න. මෙයා ඕනට විරුද්ධව නඩු දාන්න බෑ. ඇයි? එයා liability is limited. එයා කියන්නේ මෙච්චර business එකේ මොන හරි ඉතුරුලා තියෙනවා නම් ගන්න අපේ building එකට ඒකත් අපි rent එකට ගත්ත එකක්. මේ business එකේ පොඩි වොන්න ඉතුරුලා තිබ්බා මේ පොඩි මේවා ටිකක් ලීබර් ටිකක් ඕන ඒක අරන් යන ඉස්සර. එතන ඉහට දෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඇයි? ඒක තමයි සිනාරියෝ එක කියලා කියත හැකි. එම්ම කිව්වා කියලා මෙයා ඕනට විරුද්ධව නඩු දාන්න බෑ. එහෙම වුණොත් එයා නඩුවක් දානවා නම් දාන්නේ මිස්ටර් කොත්තුකට විරුද්ධව. ඒක ඉතින් ඒක මිස්ටර් කොත්තුකයි ඒගොල්ලෝ බලාගනි. right? ඕනට ඒක issue එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ ලොකුවට. right? I hope you understood this scenario. right? hari. So putala, are you clear with these three characteristics? Tell me it again, because these three are very important in this lesson. So for each and every organization, we have to use these three characteristics. It means for all these organizations, these three characteristics are affecting directly, right? So these three concepts are, these three characteristics are very important. Right? Okay, then now we know about the common characteristics. Now we are going to learn about the characteristics of sole proprietorship business, right? So before you wrote a topic a sole proprietorship business, and we defined what is a sole proprietorship business. Now, write a subtopic, characteristics of sole proprietorship business. Characteristics of sole proprietorship business. First one, පළවෙනි එක. So as a sole proprietorship business, capital is provided by a single person who is the owner. The first one, capital is provided by a single person. Capital is provided by a single person. Who is the owner? Who is the owner? ඔක්කොම සල්ලි දාන්න, capital දාන්න, invest කරන්නේ owner. Who is the owner? Only one person. Who is the owner? Right? Capital is provided by a single person. Who is the owner? Who is the owner? And the second one, so as a sole proprietorship, there is only one owner. So then losses and profits මොකද වෙන්නේ? Profits or losses to be borne alone. Profits or losses to be borne alone. Right? Profits or losses to be borne alone. ලාභ තනියම භුක්ති විඳින්න වෙනෝනේ. ලාභ තනියම භුක්ති විඳින්න. The next one මොකද්ද? Unlimited liability of the owner. දන්නවනේ unlimited liability නේ. Unlimited liability of the owner. Unlimited liability of the owner. Right? Then next one, no legal personality. No legal personality. No legal personality. Then no continued existence. No continued existence. Right? පුතාලා ඔයාලා ටියුට් එක හම්බුණාද? හම්බුනේ නැති කවුරු ඉන්නවද? මම ආයි දාන්නම් ඔය ටියුට් එක. Right? මේ ටියුට් එකේ page number 4 එක පොඩ්ඩක් බලාගන්න විනාඩියට. විනාඩියක් දෙකක් දෙන්න මේ ටියුට් එකේ page number 4 එක බලාගන්න. ඉක්මන් කරන්න. හරි ඒකේ තියෙන ওই ටික. විනාඩියක් බලා ගන්නකෝ දැන් කතා කරමු අපි එහෙම. right? බලාගත්තද? So then unlimited liability of the owner, no legal personality, no continued existence, then not mandatory to register, not compulsory to register. මොකද්ද මේ not compulsory to register කියන්නේ? Not compulsory to register, right? එතන තියෙන පොඩි condition එකක්, right? ලියා ගන්න එතන not compulsory to register කියන එකේ ලියා ගන්න පොඩි condition එකක්. condition එක මොකද්ද? If the owner use his or her full name to the business, then no need to, it is not mandatory to, it is not compulsory to register that business. As an example, so my name is Tanuja Satsara Fernando. My name is Tanuja Satsara Fernando, right? So if I am using my full name to my business, so the name of my business is Tanuja Satsara Fernando, then at the end we can use the business name, no? Enterprises, traders, trading, stores, holdings. Okay, use කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ. You can use convert, so it is not a problem, we can use this. So before that, it must be my full name, right? If I'm using my full name to the business, then it is not compulsory to, it is not mandatory to register that business. If I am not using my full name, whatever another name, even only Tanuja, only Satsara, only Tanuja Satsara, only Satsara Fernando, only Tanuja Fernando, then I have to register my business. So even I am using another name, වෙන මොකක් කරනවා use කරනවා නේ, then I have to register my business. So I don't have to register my business only if I am using my full name to the business. Only if I am using only my full name to the business. Full name, right? This one is mentioned in the business. මේක ලියා ගන්න. මේක mention සඳහන් වෙන්නේ business name, audience, act number 6 of 1918. මෙන්න මේ act එකේ තමයි ඔය එක තියෙන්නේ. In this act number, business name, audience, act number 6 of 1918, there in this act, it is clearly mentioned that if a person using his full name to a business, then it is not mandatory to register. If not, then it is mandatory to register, right? Not I hope you understood, right? So if you are going to start a business, then if you are using your full name to the business, then it is not mandatory to register. If you need, you can register. If you don't need, then it's okay, no need to register. But if you are not using your full name, then you must register that business. Right? හරි. ඒක තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ act එකේ. So sometimes මේකත් අහනවා, right? In which act they have mentioned that the owner has to use the full name for his business to conduct the business without registering, right? මහානෝ. ඒ නිසා act number එකත් තියාගන්න ඕන. හරි? So this is the final characteristic. Then let's discuss about advantages of sole proprietorship business. So first one is convenient to start. For as a single person, they can start a business. Even they can start at home. Even they can start at home. So convenient to start because no need to register. So it's easy. And the second one, all the profits belong to the owner because there's only one owner, so it is not shared. All the profits belong to the owner. So the next one, privacy of the business information is secured because there is only one person. So all the securities, all the informations are in one person, right? So it is secured because all the others doesn't know about the information about the business, right? Because others are unable to involve in this business because there's only one owner, right? And the next one, their ability to use own skills at the best. It is their business, so they are able to use their own skills at the best, right? For the development of the business. And the next one is independent decision making, right? So one man show ne, Mamai Raja, I am the king because there's only one owner, so they are considering that they are the king. There's only one king, so they have the independence to take decisions, independent decision making ability. So these are the advantages of a sole proprietorship business, right? Then next, we have disadvantages of sole proprietorship businesses. The first disadvantage is their liability is unlimited liability of the owner. I think you know about that. You remember. If they obtain loan and bankrupt the business, then the owner has to pay with their personal resources, right? So unlimited liability. Difficulties in raising capital because only one owner can invest for the business. So then when we compare with a group, the one owners and individuals capital is very at a very low level. So it is very difficult to raise capital, right? So they have only one way to raise capital. They can obtain a debt like a bank loan, only this. So they can't invite others to invest for the business because there's only one owner. If they are invited, then we have to add them as owner. So then we have to change the type of the organization. So next one, no continuous existence. No continuous existence, right? I think you know about this. If something happened to the owner, the business also might collapse, right? And the next one, no legal personality. No legal personality. They are unable to pay income taxes under the name. They are unable to sue another organization. They are unable to own properties under the name of the business. They are unable to sign an agreement under the name of the business. Likewise, right? No legal personality. Then the next one. So when we compare with the, decisions, so a group decision is more successful than in an individual decision. So some individual decisions of the owner can be unsuccessful. So when we compare with a group decision, so an individual's decision of the owner can be unsuccessful. තනි කෙනෙක් ගන්න decision එකක් ගොඩක් ලාට වර්ධින තියෙන ප්‍රවණතාවය වැඩි, right? So these are the advantages and disadvantages of this organization, right? So today we started business organizations, and we described what is a business organization. Then we classified business organizations according to the ownership, according to the objective, according to the scale. Then we learned about different criterias to identify whether it is a small and medium scale business or a large scale business. Then we came up to each organization one by one. So the first organization, sole proprietorship business. So we defined what is a sole proprietorship business, and we identified 3 common characteristics which affect for all these organizations, called legal personality, continued existence, liability. So then we discuss about the characteristics of sole proprietorship business. Then we discuss about advantages of sole proprietorship business. Then we discussed the disadvantages of sole proprietorship business, right? So, are you clear with these parts? Please mention. Are you clear with these parts? Right. Others? Understood? Any questions to ask? Any doubts? Any questions? Right. Okay then. Hari. Okay. Okay, Putala. So now we have completed sole proprietorship business. So now we have to, the next we have to learn partnership businesses, right? Okay. So today I am going to stop from this. So from next week onward, we are starting from partnership businesses, right? Okay. I hope you understood all these about all these content which I taught you today. So am I correct? Yes. Right. Okay. Okay, Butala. Then let's continue the lesson next week. Right. Okay. So till then, have a nice day. Have a nice week. Good luck, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Good night, Putala. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Yeah, Putala, you're welcome.